Good afternoon, traders. It is Monday, July 21st, 2014. The U.S. stock market is closed. A few days ago, somebody retweeted one of my tweets, and I saw it on my computer, and I read it, and I didn't remember tweeting it. It said the problem with intelligent people is they think they can figure out the stock market. And I said, I don't remember tweeting that. And then I looked at it closer and realized that it was dated 2010. Somebody had held on to this for over 4 years and retweeted it last week. Anyway, yeah, the problem is intelligent people think they can figure out the stock market, and today was a good example of how there's just no logic to this market sometimes. And you know, last Thursday we had this huge sell-off in the Dow, and it really looked like it was tanking because of the global situation. And then on Friday, without any improvement at all in that global situation, the market turns around and pretty much makes up for all that negative action on Thursday. And I'm just sitting there scratching my head. And of course, we because of this rally, we get into a pile of stuff. Had over 20 positions on going into the weekend long, and I was not happy with that. I wasn't happy with that at all, because it's very, you know, it can be very bad if the market turns around against us. And this morning, yeah, the Dow dives this morning, and I'm just sitting there, oh God, you know, how? I can't stand this system. I can't stand trading this system any longer. It's going to drive me crazy. At one point, we were down to $11,000, you know, and it was getting worse. And I just, you know, paid minimal attention to the trading this morning, other than doing what I have to do, as I always do. But then, you know, after about 3 hours, I noticed things are starting to get better. Anyway, long story short, we get to the end of the day. I think we actually made money today, and that's despite the fact that Dow was down like 48 points today. I mean, on the close, it was down over 100 points earlier on in the day, but doesn't make any sense to me. I'll tell you, I'll be freely admit I'm not an intelligent person. I'm not going to figure this market out. Anyway, we closed out like $1,000 negative on what we closed out. But I mean, you know, like I said, 23 positions, and this market's in the toilet. We get out on a red day like today, and we only have $1,000 down. That's not bad. But the good news is that we got into stuff today, and we're holding positive almost $5,000. So, hey, that's a winning day, and I'm very happy about it. Anyway, let's take a look at the crazy charts. Okay, we're looking at the Dow here, and as I said, you know, last Thursday we had this big sell-off, and then seemingly against all logic, the Dow rallied on Friday, and of course that put us into a pile of positions that I didn't like, and none of them looked very good, by the way. And then this morning it tanked, and but then it rallies again, and even though it closed negative 48, I think the Dow is finishing pretty much on positive. Notice that on Thursday and this morning, the Dow bounces off my first red line, and that has me a little bit more optimistic that, you know, this market is in fact going to move up from this point and take out our last red line, which is up here, and that would be all-time high. So I am a little more optimistic about this situation today. This market just has too much resiliency that I don't see it falling and going back down below the first red line, but you know, it could. But it looks to me like it's going up. That's my
fearful analysis of the Dow. But of course, again, the problem with intelligent people is they think they know what's going on with the stock market. And I'll show you a couple of our trades here. Nothing spectacular, but still we had good trades today. That's why we're carrying nearly $5,000 going into tomorrow. This one is in the Depth Technology. We got into this today, jumped into it in the second hour, and it kept going. It did back off a little right on that last bar, but we're still holding almost $2,000 in the Depth Technology. And then another nice trade we had is let's see, I didn't mark this properly. Here we go. This is a market we haven't really done much with in quite a while, but it's TQNT. That's TriQuint Semiconductors, I believe, and we had gotten into this on Friday, 45 minutes into the day, and it went against us, closed against us, but it moved up very, very nicely today, and we are holding over $2,000 in TriQuint Semiconductors. So kind of a crazy day, but a positive day. I'm happy. Again, I believe this is a very resilient market, and we're going to have some profits coming down in the very near future. I mean, you know, big profits. Anyway, this is the way it went on Monday. This is Trader Bob signing off. I'll see you tomorrow on Tuesday.